Welcome to the All Aboard with Visit Mickey podcast.
All right, welcome back to All Aboard with Visit Mickey. This is Trisha. I have a very special guest named Robert with me. Robert and I just got back from the Disneyland 70th anniversary, and we are here to talk about it and break it down. Hey, Robert.
Hi, how are you doing?
I am so good. I loved the 70th. I went to the 60th 5 times during the 18-month celebration, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. It's when Paint the Night originated, so that's 10 years old this year. I loved the merchandise. I just loved everything about it. Also, it was the colors that I like, so that was part of it because I bought a lot of merchandise. But this is like a whole new world, because they have different colors, right? You know, pinks and blues and purples, and it's really bright and different. It's a different vibe, and I love it so far. I just love everything about it, honestly. How about
What do
you?
you think the vibe is going for? It was kind of giving me like cake, maybe like almost 90s. I was getting a vibe.
Oh, I got 90s vibe for
Yeah.
sure. I got 90s vibe. I also think it is going really young. Don't you think really a youthful vibe?
Yeah, definitely lots and lots of
The targeting, like the Better Together parade for sure
Oh
is
yeah.
going like youthful, right? Paint the Night isn't. I wouldn't consider Paint the Night that, but I have a little checklist of things that are the 70th, and I thought we could start there. So for those who don't know, May 16th was the kickoff of the 70th anniversary, and the celebration is announced to be a 15-month celebration into the summer of next year, but no end date is currently in play. So it's just until summer of next year. And the first thing on my list is the new theme song, Celebrate Happy. So how do you feel about the song Celebrate Happy?
Yeah, actually I was gonna say that thinking about the fact that we said 90s and maybe it is like early 2000s too, because they got it was at the Joe Bros, right? For that song.
Yeah,
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 so
the
it's
Jonas
kind of
Brothers
that.
song.
And that song is so catchy. Like I'm singing it to myself every day ever since we've gone. It's just like such an
Right.
earworm. It's so
Well, and
good.
it's so funny because I did it today. Like today, I was in the kitchen, like getting my lunch together, and I'm going, wow, it is stuck in my head. I mean, not to mention, I know like the opportunities, like today I built a reel, and when you build the reel, you hear it, right? Because it's either part of the song. I got the Cavalcade parade that I did a reel for today. And in that reel, I'm hearing the song over and over and over again. And it's it is catchy. It is catchy and I love it. But you hear it a lot. It's like the theme song of the whole 70th, and the 70th theme is happiness. And I feel like you're going to hear it in both parks. So I hope everyone likes it because you're going to hear it a lot.
I mean, every time we heard it, we couldn't help but start dancing. It's like
I know.
I'm like
I know.
we're trying to get the content, record the videos. It's like, but I just want to dance.
Well, the funny thing was, you recorded me dancing at one point, and I watched that video today, and I'm like, people were like walking by, just walking by. People further than me were not dancing. I was not acting. I really was dancing. I was like loving the parade and waiting for the cavalcade to get all the way to in front of us. You know, like we're really happy for the Celebrate Happy Cavalcade. And we're like, as soon as we got lucky, like, so we arrive to the park and we're going through the new turnstiles. By the way, there are new turnstiles at Disneyland. So, you know, you have to scan and you take a picture and you go, and you're not doing the fingerprint thing anymore. And we could hear the music. We could hear the cavalcade music happening. And we were like, oh, that's just run. We run for Main Street or to the train station, and we get there, and there's this huge gap of no one standing in there because it was in full sun. And I'm like, perfect. So like we went right to it and we got into the sun and then we really had that whole section to ourselves, kinda, don't you think?
We have to say why this was so important for us, though, is because of the fact that we had a chance to see Duffy and Shelley from, the old Tokyo Disneyland, or all the Asian parks have them, and but we know him originally from what, Epcot. So
Yeah, from Epcot. So, right, the Celebrate Happy Cavalcade has the kickoff characters, the opening scene characters are Duffy and Shelley May. And so when we hear the music, and I had a checklist, which is in one of our reels, which is everything that's going on at the 70th. I had a checklist of the times of everything. And so when we heard the music, we're like, oh, that's it. And so we're running because we know if we get there in time, we're going to get to see Duffy and Shelley May kick off that parade. And we did. We got there really in the nick of time. We might have had 30 seconds before they were in front of us. And I mean, like, I was already like fulfilled and satisfied in my first 2 minutes of being in the park, because in the first 2 minutes of being in the park, I got to see Duffy and Shelley.
well, and a hot tip to tell people is, if seeing the characters in the cavalcade like are important to you, because some of them are rare. Like, even, was it Max is there from Goofy?
Goofy son Max is
Yeah.
there.
You can't necessarily meet them, but what we did is find the areas that were empty, and they would pull up to us and walk up to us, and we could get a quick selfie with them. So that was great.
That was great. I think it helped to stand where we stood because there are some areas that are literally roped off. They have like the rope that goes down. Well, I didn't see them stopping at those roped off areas so much, but they absolutely, I was wearing a Duffy and Shelley May shirt, and I knew that I wanted to see them that first day. I knew that was important to me, and I knew that we could get there in time for it. So I was prepared to have it in. And they are being carted on, like, what is that called, Robert? The bicycle with them standing in it. I don't even know what that's called,
Yeah, I don't
but
know. It's just
I
a
don't
little
know.
bike.
So there's people who are, it's like a rickshaw kind of thing, right? It's kind of like a rickshaw, but the characters are standing. And the people who are biking the characters, I was waving and waving and waving at Duffy and Shelley May. And the biker, the guy who was biking them down the street, goes, "Oh my gosh, Shelley, look," and pointed to me and pointed to my shirt and goes, "Look at her shirt." And so he stopped a good long time. And my very dear friend Robert took care of me because I was so flustered in the moment.
Yeah.
Selfie because I had been in camera mode. And I know, of course, how to flip the camera around. But in the moment and in the excitement, I couldn't remember how to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not guaranteed at all, but when it happens, you're like, oh my God, this is my chance.
It's my chance. So then I had to return that favor later, and we got lucky. We got lucky a couple times. Honestly, we got lucky a couple times. Jeannie is also walking in the Celebrate Happy Cavalcade, and this is where you get to see everybody in their new outfits too. So if you love the color of the 70th, you get to see everybody in their new outfits. So we've got, Duffy and Shelley May up at the front, and then we have Max, Goofy Sun walking, and then we have princesses after that, right? The princess section of Cavalcade. And then we've got those, like, kind of like the Fab maybe 8, right? Because Goofy's there and Chip and Dale are there. So, and then a few random, right? So we had Genie as a random, we had Geppetto as a random, a few others. Well, Alice. Oh,
Peter
who was the
Pan.
villain? Was it Captain Hook?
Yes, Hook was there.
Yeah, Hook was there. Pan was there. Was Smee? I don't remember seeing Smee.
I don't remember.
And actually, I think the only villain I remember was Captain Hook.
Yeah. It is more random when you think about it.
Yeah. So anyway, so that is how we kicked off our time, which is the celebrate Happy Cavalcade with Duffy and with Shelley Mae. And it was a great start of our very first day.
It was
True?
very magical, especially seeing, I love Shelley and Duffy, and just you never get to see them. I'm like, come on, Disney, make it happen.
Bring them back. So I'm going to do a little behind the scenes magic right now and say that on May 3rd, I was lucky enough to get a D23 ticket to see the creator of the Duffy and Friends. And so they had an event, and I got tickets to that event, went to the event, and the person in charge of the costuming for the 70th is just a Duffy and Shelley Mae's super fan. And so he contacted the department that would be in charge of Duffy and Friends and said, "Hey, it's Duffy's 20th anniversary and it's Disneyland's 70th anniversary. Can we put these two together and have Duffy and some of his friends come out to Disneyland?" And one, they loved the idea. That meant he's in charge of costuming. He got to make costumes for Duffy and Shelley Mae. And then they chose who got to come, and only the two characters got to come. But I mean, like, how awesome that the guy who was there had a picture of him at 16 with Duffy in Epcot. And so he's like, full circle moment. Now I'm creating outfits for Duffy.
That's so cool.
It is so cool. Okay, for those of you who are just listening on one of the many ways you can podcast, Robert is in his Disneyland 70th baseball hat. I end up really loving the fit of this because does
Yeah.
mine read proper or is it's backward for me?
Yeah, it's good. Looks good.
Okay. So I end up really loving this. I know that it seemed like super hot the first day I had it, but then I love the fit. It looks really nice. I love the color as wine. So we're wearing our 70th merch that we had. Oh my gosh, how much did we buy? I think I bought 3 shirts plus the special one.
I got the hat, the water bottle, which is right here, if anyone that can see. It's got Mickey on it in his new outfit for people that are listening. It's great. It's iridescent. Gosh, yeah. I feel
Robert
like
said something to me when he got that. He said something to me which was, I loved what he said. He goes, I could take this with me to work if I'm having a bad day, if this life is stupid. He didn't use these words, of course, but it was basically saying, when life gets you down, I can have this water bottle and look at it and have the instant memories of this. And I'm like, that's a great thing. It made me want to buy a water bottle, actually.
Well, and the thing about this one is it's so big and graphic, and Mickey's just so smiley on it and really grabs your attention.
Yeah. So if you want to see what we're talking about, you can always go over to the YouTube page because we'll also have our podcasts. We have both shorts and full episodes on our YouTube page at Visit Mickey. So, okay. Next up, I have World of Color Happiness to talk about. So we chose to do the dessert party and to do World of Color because of course you can get a virtual queue at noon. You can go in and get your virtual queue and have like dedicated standing space, which is like you can, have a dedicated space versus just try to find a spot and maybe not have the best spot. So you could do a virtual queue, but we chose to do the dessert party. And with the dessert party, it did change up a little from the previous. It comes in a box that you could take stuff back, which was nice because before it was just everything without a plate. And I really like the charcuterie portion because they made half of it was a charcuterie of meats and cheeses and crackers. And then the other half was dessert. So I appreciated that. I like the change up. Before it had just a couple pieces of cheese and a cracker. And now it had, prosciutto, salami, a few other things. So what'd you think of that? Comparatively.
It was impressive how much they gave and how big the box was. I was like, that one box really could have been enough for the two of us. And we each got one. I was like, oh my gosh. And then of course it's like a little adult Happy Meal because they have to throw in a toy with it. And you get a collector's
Love that
pin.
already. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get, what are they called? Fig,
Fig pin. Fig pin.
fig pen. So they put in a fig pin World of Color Happiness pin. And well, our waitress, she was like, here's your box. Open it. Open it now in front of me. I need to prove that you got your pin, your gift, right? She was like, open it in front of me. I got to prove you got it. I guess so that once you find out that there was a pin, you can't go, oh, I didn't get one in my box. I guess that's the whole theory. But she was very aggressive about it.
Yeah.
Open it up. Prove it. So, but we didn't open our pins until at the end of the night, right? To see
Yeah.
which one we got.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. But Robert got the good one. He got the glitter fig pin.
That's
And
colorful, for World of Color.
for World of Color, and it was glitterized. So he got the good one, and I got the grayscale one. I don't know, amber scale one, whatever.
It was like
So,
gold. Am I crazy?
huh?
Isn't it gold? Am I crazy?
Yeah, it's like, instead of being grayscale, it's amber scale or gold scale, something like that. So it's not colorful, which is funny because I got the ultra and you got the rare, and neither of us got the regular. But the
Yeah.
regular at least has color.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, so okay, but on with the show. World of Color Happiness. What did you think?
That was great. I personally liked that it had the Muppets in it. Like I hadn't seen the Muppets in a lot of the shows before. So that was funny.
Yeah, yeah, it was a good start because they kept that pretty quiet, right? We didn't learn until a day or two before they premiered it. We just knew about, mostly being the Inside Out characters, right? The Pixar characters. That's pretty much all the previews talked about. So definitely keeping the Muppets, they kept that quiet for a very long time. And I'm kind of glad that they did it because with all the hubbub of taking the Muppets out of Hollywood studios, and people feeling that, oh, they're removing the Muppets from the world of Disney. So I think it probably even was a conscious choice, but it's one I'm glad they made.
I agree for sure.
Okay, now for me, I will say what I said to Robert was I loved World of Color 1. I loved it. I gave it a 10. 10s across the board. So for me, this was less. Like I loved World of Color. I loved the story behind it. I loved the song, and once you thought of all the optics of it. So, and it was longer. I also World of Color
I
1 was
agree.
longer. So I gave this like a 7 or 8, where World of Color 1 was a 10 for me. But also, when you think about World of Color, the other World of Color, it had Marvel. Remember when the Star Wars and the Marvel scenes hit? The whole crowd was like breathless,
Yeah,
when the Millennium Falcon hits, like the entire crowd would just like erupt. So I think maybe that's why for me is we didn't use the Disney canon. We just used a very small set of characters outside of the Muppets, which is a preview, but the show
Mhm.
itself, it didn't encompass all that World of Color 1 did. So I think that's probably my issue with it. However, I've already, like, I put up a reel from World of Color 1, like the end song, and I don't know, I've already watched the video a few times. I've already watched it because I enjoy that last song and what they do with it and how how it was arranged. So
It was cool because the song goes through the rainbow and it says the colors. And I remember the spouts would turn each color, and there would also be lasers in the color, and then also the Mickey, what's it called? Pixar Pal
Pixar
Around.
Pal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would turn the same color, and I'm a sucker for anything that's all the colors. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I love World of Color. Like I actually think it's better than the fireworks at Disneyland. Like I'm not gonna lie. And so
Yeah.
for me, any World of Color show is a great show. I'm like, I just where else do you see something like that? It's so
Yeah.
cool.
So this is fourth, my fourth World of Color show. So there was World of Color, and then there was World of Color for the Disney 60th. The World of Color 100 was the one, World of Color 1, and now the 70th one. So this is my fourth World of Color.
Okay.
Yeah, the one had Neil Patrick Harris who was like narrating it. So that was my second one. World of Color 1 is my third, and then this is my fourth. But I agree with you. I think World of Color it does surpass the fireworks show. It's like everything. And actually, I'll even go further and say Harmonious. I know people loved it or hated Harmonious and Epcot, but I thought the show was really good. Did I think it was an eyesore during the day? Yeah, you wished you could see across the thing. But at night, that show was so incredible. And it was the closest thing Florida was ever going to come to a World of Color.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now, for me, the number one parade I have ever seen, Paint the Night. It's my favorite Disney parade. It's been my favorite Disney parade for 10 years. It used to be Spectro Magic, and then I saw World of Color. I'm sorry, I saw Paint the Night, and the very first time I saw it, I think I cried at the end. I was just like in happiest tears. So I know I really built it up for you, Robert. How did I do?
Oh, it's wonderful. Like, for me, I only started going to Disneyland within the past few years. But when they first released Paint the Night, to me, it was like legendary. Like, see, I saw pictures and videos and I was like, that looks incredible. So for years, I've been dying to see it. And so it was really hyped up for me, and it was worth it. Like, that thing is so cool. Like, I can't even explain it. Like it's just it's so colorful and bright, and the music's so happy and upbeat, and the way the pieces move, it's like mesmerizing, and the way they've made it so interesting with like all the different bulbs. And I was telling Trisha, like I like the normal Main Street Electrical Parade, and this is at times like 1,000.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because like as much as I love that parade, the Electric Light Parade, right? As much as I love it, and I do, and I love that they added the new float with the blue fairy. Like I was glad to see some new brought in because it's been around forever. And so you've seen it and you're just like, Disney's always elevating. They're always elevating. It's always changing. It's part of Walt's message. So I was glad when they did some additional things. But when I saw Paid the Night, I was just like you said, it's like times 100. And you go, wow. And for me, the first time I saw the truck, and it turned, and he's coming on, and it's perfect. It's perfect. You're seeing it come down like, well, where we were sitting, it was coming straight at us. And you see it coming straight at us, and you go, oh my God, it's like they pulled him right out of the movie. And then when he turns and all of that color and all the display that happens inside of the truck, it just blows you away. It just blows you away. So but you know what? Like one of my favorite floats is Woody's dog. Why can't I think?
Thank
Slinky. Slinky dog. That is such a beautiful float. Like and the way he's got his head cocked and his ears. It is such a good float. I mean, and the last one, Mickey with those whirling, twirling thing, and you're like staring at it going, how? Right? How are they doing that? How does it look like that? It really boggles your mind, but if you can, just enjoy it. I actually had my phone set up to record it, and I had to force myself to not look at my phone. I'm like, just watch the parade and try to enjoy it. Because, of course, I want to be able to look at it later, which is why I record it. But nothing beats your eyes, nothing beats your eyes for the visual stimulation.
Something that I thought about during it that like I thought was interesting. Like we've seen so many Disney parades, over the years, but the view we had, we were looking straight on it coming at us because we were kind of near the castle because it turns right there coming away from the Matterhorn. And I never realized how amazingly synced up the whole parade is. Like there was a spot where you could see like all of the Fab Five on their floats coming at us, and but they were like nowhere near each other. And I was getting shots where you could see they're doing the same dance at the same time. All the pieces are synced together, and I was just like it's like a technical marvel. Like and like you were saying, like that Mickey float alone is like whoever thought of that and how it moves. And yeah, that parade to me is like Disney excellence. That's like showing what they're capable of like at the max.
Yeah.
And now I gotta say, like other parades are gonna be ruined for me now. I'm gonna be like, it's not paint the night.
Well, you know what? I gotta say, I do understand that feeling. I do think Starlight looks beautiful. We'll have to see what that looks like come the end of July. I do feel like we now have to know. We have to know how it is. I and Spectro Magic. I don't know if you ever saw Spectro Magic, but it was fantastic in its time. Like it was more than the Electric Light Parade, but less than Paint the Night. But in its time, that made sense, right? It was still bulbs, right? Versus neon and LED and all that. But gosh, it was so good to see again. It was so good to see again when I went in the 60th. So 10 years younger, Trisha had a lot of energy because I would go to it both times. I would go to like the 9 o'clock show and the 10:15 show. And I'd be like, and it was before we had cameras to record every inch of what we were doing in life. So I was just singing and dancing. And then the song was from Big Hero 6. So I already knew the song, right? And I mean, I think I lost my voice the first few days of going to the parade because we were singing so loudly. But anyway, such an epic return for me. So glad to have Paint the Night back in the United States here at Disneyland. And I gotta say, I do not feel like I'm overselling it. I just think it's that amazing.
I agree for sure.
All right. So next up on my list is Wondrous Journeys. So Wondrous Journeys is the castle projection and fireworks show that happens after Paint the Night. So like or in between, depending on if the show runs twice. And it actually debuted for the 100th anniversary of Disney. And that, of course, would have been 1923. October 16th of 1923 would have been the first official day of Disney Corporation. And Wondrous Journeys was made for the 100th celebration. So it is back again. I do think a lot of focus on the Encanto time, lots of talks of the butterfly and stuff. So, but I also think it's beautiful. I think it's well done. I think Disney has projection down like nobody's business. That it's perfection. Like when you were talking about the parade and the technical aspect and them all lined up in a shot, all in the exact same moment, that's how their castle projection is. and they have a Matterhorn projection, and it's a small world projection, and they have a projection on Carthay Circle. And I think they are all spectacular.
For Wondrous Journeys, is that it's called Wondrous Journeys? Yeah.
Wondrous Journeys. So
Yeah.
the song is called just Wondrous, but the fireworks show is called Wondrous Journeys.
So I had come for the 100th celebration, so I'd seen that show a few times before. So something like you were just mentioning, like how they also have that show at other parts of the park. So I tried it out the one night by going back to Tom Sawyer Island to watch it instead of at the castle. And even back there was like the view of the fireworks was even more incredible because it's like you had nothing blocking your view. It was just all over. You could see the fireworks at Big Thunder Mountain or over in that area, and it was like so different. I was like, wow. So for my like third or fourth time seeing Wondrous Journeys, it was kind of cool to try it in a different spot.
I love that. I love that. Now, we were only there for 3 days, and I'm telling you, we did not have enough time. We never got to see, if you can watch the fireworks from Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you could see them behind the spires, right? And that has a name. What is that called? It's got a name. I can't think of it right now. But there's like a term for that where you can go see the fireworks in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And it's super cool. I have never done it. I've seen pictures of it. I have friends who have done it, who've posted pictures, but I haven't done it. But I'm like, it does look incredibly cool. But I think we're gonna probably end with where we saw everything from. But I do love castle projection. I do love the preciseness of it all. And even though I've seen Wondrous Journeys now many times, I never get over that Baymax moment. I love it. I love that Baymax moment. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we're used to seeing Tinkerbell on a wire going over to Tomorrowland type of thing. Well, in Wondrous Journeys, there is a moment of Baymax, and the song comes on from Big Hero 6, and Baymax comes, out in his red outfit, flying outfit. And it's very cool. It's very cool. And I'm a fan of that movie, so I was really excited. All right. So I think I'm going to skip the next one and go back to it because right after we did Paint the Night Parade, and then we did Wondrous Journeys, and then it's like, okay, we have to walk to It's a Small World. We were like on a mission. And after, again, you can time it that you can do all of these things one after another. If you go look at that, if you go look at the times, and again, we have a post all about the times, we have a couple of them, and it's Tapestry of Happiness. So now again, you take the song Celebrate Happy, and they do a projection on It's a Small World. So it's another 3 minute, 3 minute and 30-second projection of the Celebrate Happy song on It's a Small World. And it is like a love letter to Mary Blair. And I love that too. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite is like vintage Disneyland, like old Disneyland. And I thought it was so cool that they paid tribute to Walt first off on it. They paid tribute to Mary Blair, and then they paid tribute to all the old rides. Some of them even like when they should show the silhouette, I was like, I don't even know that ride. So then it piques your interest. You're like, I gotta learn more about that. So I thought that was really neat to see like, things you don't normally see there anymore. Like what are the skyline or what were the
Skyway.
originals, the
The
bucket, the
Skyway.
skyway,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
or like the
And
motorboats.
yeah.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be like my dream,
I
those old motorboats.
I love, again, Robert and I, we're a bit of those, I don't know. I mean, we call us Disney nerds or whatever you want to call us, but we love the Walt of it all. It's like one thing that we had in common to kind of be like, well, Walt this, Walt that, Walt this, Walt that. So for me, I love when anything starts off with the Walt of it all. And it's why I always stop and look up at the light. It's why I always go to the apartment for a minute, just a minute, and just stare up and kind of like they silently thank him for all he's done. I mean, look at what he's done just for our lives, like yours and mine, right? Look at the joy that we have because of what he created, and he did it for everybody. And so I just feel like I always have to take that moment and just like kind of give thanks in my little way at his apartment every trip. But I do love that they showed so much old Disney in that tapestry of happiness. That certainly made me happy. And giving that nod to Mary Blair, if you do not know, inside It's a Small World, they have added Miguel and Dante to the Mexico area. So, in Disneyland, if you don't know, there's some things that make it very special. And one of those things is that they incorporate some of the Disney characters into It's a Small World. So bringing Miguel and Dante in, putting them in Mexico is such a nice little touch. And you can kind of go, okay, there we go. But in July, so the actual 70th anniversary will be July 17th. And in July, they're going to be adding the last portion of the It's a Small World song that Richard Sherman wrote before he died and presented to Bob Iger. So that's going to be so there's more celebrations coming in July. They're adding to the 70th as we go. And that little tidbit is going to be coming in July. So May was bringing in Miguel and Dante, and July is going to be bringing in the third verse of that song.
Well, and not to mention that, like, I think they just renovated that Small World or something because the whole ride was like so bright and everything was working and it was extra glittery and the hippos both eyes blinked, It was like
All the hula girls danced,
yeah, all the hula.
right?
It was so like it was honestly the most magical and best
Precious.
ever seen Small World ever. I could hear every sound effect and it was great.
Oh, yeah. Things that you have not seen work in years, all of it was working.
Yeah.
All of it. Yeah. I didn't see, because I think there was at one point, as we're going into the tunnel that has Lilo on the surfboard on your right hand side, whatever's on your left hand side, you go, have those ever moved before? I was like, well, they ever have, but they're moving now because you knew certainly the hula girls, right? Because they're infamously not on time. And, or one never works and one was super slow, one was really fast. They were all in time. And you're right. Everything was fresh, fresh, fresh. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it was so good. And it was funny because I'm like, okay, I know there's something new. I know there's something new. And even though we have like the fresh new look of it or the updated, fresh, clean, maybe freshly repainted, so everything is bright again and working again, and then looking for the Miguel and Dante. So, but again, for those who are looking for that third verse, you're going to have to wait till July. That did not drop with the May 70th celebration. That is not going to drop until the July 17th actual 70th anniversary. All right, so we're going to hop over to California Adventure for this next section, which is better together, better together, better together, you, me. See, that's another one that I sing a lot now. It's like that parade.
I don't know if people know this, but they did add a soundtrack for the 70th on Spotify, and it's incredible. All these songs are just like they really I think it's some of the best music they made actually for like a celebration because all of them are in my head. And it's so funny. People are saying, we don't have a song for the summer yet. Where's our summer song? And I'm like, it's the Disneyland 70th soundtrack. That's the songs of summer right there.
The songs of summer. It's true. It is true. They are all good. And the Cavalcade, I'm not the Cavalcade. What's that called again? The Better Together Parade. Pixar Pal Celebration. Better Together Pixar Pal Celebration. That's the official full name. It is over in Disney's California Adventure, an afternoon parade. So on Wednesday, we arrived on Tuesday. Wednesday, that is how we kicked off our time at the park. We started in California Adventure, and then we saw that parade. It's fun. It is so funny. I am not sure if I hadn't seen the Army Men, that kind of preview that tell you a parade is coming. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen that before. So I don't know if I just missed it because it comes by like a good 5 minutes before the parade comes by. But it was new to me to see that. But the parade itself is not new. So there's a good chance you've seen Better Together. If you've been there in the last few years, you've probably seen Better Together. But it is a fun, short but fun parade, and it's an afternoon parade. Great for the kiddos because those are all the, fun-loving characters that people like. And do you have a favorite float from that one or a favorite grouping?
Oh my God, it was the Turning Red one for sure.
Oh, Turning Red?
Yeah, just seeing all the friends from the movie and then the music and the boy band, and that was just too good.
Yeah, it's good. I think I do like, I think the side that we were on, I like the side that, I mean, maybe it's similar on the other side, but I think we had a really good setup, and seeing the friends was like a good angle or something. But I think I saw more this time in that particular float than I had in other times. The Luca one does blow me away a little bit. I do think that's a great float too. It's fun though. It's a
Well, that one for
fun,
me, I was like, I love how they're characters that you don't really see often. So it's like
yeah,
so great when
yeah,
they have people and to give them such a good, way like of doing it. Like they weren't just like walking on their own or like on a bike in the back. Like they had a really great flow.
yeah, yeah. Because the first time I saw it, I was like, that is so cool. You know what I mean? So to see them, half of them be, mer people, and then yeah, it was really good. And I like that movie, right? Like, I mean, I like most movies, but I certainly like that movie. And I remember, gosh, I was going on when that movie came out, I was getting ready for my Arizona, Utah Adventures by Disney. So I know I'm going off the subject a little bit, and I am the person who would always do the thing that's easy with Adventures by Disney. Like, take the bus and go look at the sites over there, or I'll take this. Like, I wasn't the, what is that, zip liner? I've never been the zip liner person. I've never been the water river rafting person, da da da. And after I saw that movie, I kept saying to myself, Silence Bruno, Silence Bruno. Every time I'm like, no, Trisha, you are going to do the whitewater rafting. You are not going to get on the bus and go to, the windows. You're going to climb to Delicate Arch. You're going to do the whitewater rafting. And I did it all. I like set my mind, but in my head, I was in my head going, Silence Bruno, Silence Bruno. So that's what that movie did for me.
I gotta tell you, the only way that I'd probably go whitewater rafting is knowing that Disney had something to do with it because I know I'd be safe. I'd be like, well,
It
if Disney,
doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt that I knew I was doing it with Disney and that I felt the same way. Like, they're never letting me get hurt. There's no
exactly.
way.
So it's like, yep, that's what I would do it.
I mean, honestly, so that was a 1 to 2, 1 to 2. And they label the rafting, whitewater rafting they grade it, and they're like, this is 1 to 2 whitewater rafting. And they're like, if you want, 3, 4, or 5, you have to go on they said which ones have the higher level of the whitewater. And I was like, you know what? It was very fun. It was very fun. I don't know how much I could take, but it was very fun.
Yeah.
Because you really have to paddle. I mean, they have like the official paddler there, to kind of like handle things for you. But they're like, no, on the right, on the right, on the right. And we're like, oh my gosh. And like it's a major workout for the, minute that you have to do it until you get to some more calm water. And then you had, for us, it was like, okay, here's the calm water. And then, okay, we're coming up on the white water. This is what you need to do. And that was cool. So, but definitely we went off topic, but it was a cool thing. And
One more.
Silence Bruno is a method.
I was just gonna say I can't do the Davy Crockett canoes at Disneyland without being in pain, so there's no way.
There's a bunch of people doing it. I mean, like, I didn't have to do it myself. Okay, let's see. Here's my list. We're going back. Disneyland Cavalcade, we talked about it already. The 70th anniversary themed, which is Toy Story Mania. It's a small world. So they put a little bit of 70th anniversary into some rides. What did you think?
I thought the Toy Story Mania was great because like I've done that ride a million times and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to even just have stickers put on everything to make it feel a little different. And I was like, man, why aren't they doing this more often? Do it for Halloween, do it for Christmas, like that's pretty cool. At first I was a little confused because I didn't know what were the things that actually gave me points. So I was shooting some signs that didn't give me any points.
Right, right. And I did the same thing. And it's so funny. The person that we were with, they're like, I was hitting those signs and noticing my points weren't going up. I'm like, oh my God, you can actually do both of those.
Yeah. I'm like, all
You
I
can
can
take
focus
time
on
to look
is
and see if points are right.
yeah,
It didn't even occur to me to do that.
yeah,
So I just realized that okay, nothing is happening when I hit the happiest celebration sign. No ding, no ring. So then I just went to the things that had 70 on them. So, and for those of you who know Toy Story Mania, so like when the plates come up or when the shields, the red and white shields come up, and maybe the value is 700, they put the 70th logo in front of the 700, so now it's worth 7,000. And so if you hit something that had anything with the 70th logo on it, I don't know if it doubled points. It said you get extra points for hitting something that had the 70th in the logo. And so, yeah, you're like targeting all the 70th stuff at that point. And I agree. Like you feel like you've done something 100 times. And so it's like, yeah, same old thing. But I love what you said. I think it's a great idea to do a Halloween layover, to do a Christmas layover. They do it for other rides. Why not? Actually, after we did it, I felt like I wish they would have done more rides.
yeah.
I
I
wish
could
they would have had more 70th overlay stuff. We went on Web Slingers, and Web Slingers now incorporates some of the and this is new. It's new. It incorporates some of the Avengers, like Thor's hammer, and I don't know, some of the other people. I saw like a Doctor Strange thing. And if you save one of their weapons, then you got like mega points, right? So, but that's not 70th unless they just happen to do it around now. I don't know, but it wasn't ever announced anywhere. So I kind of feel like it's not anything to do with the 70th, but I was so glad to have something different with even that ride. Like I'm glad that they're evolving.
well, on that note too, I felt like what went under the radar was that they updated the bride at the Haunted Mansion. And that wasn't even part of the 70th either. But again, it makes you wonder because if they're trying to match her back to how she was originally, it's kind of like interesting. Like, yeah, like maybe it is kind of part for the 70th.
I mean, right, but it's not listed. Even on Disney Parks blog, they don't list it as a 70th update.
Yeah.
They just updated it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have not been to Disneyland's Haunted Mansion, it is, well, first of all, the mansions are different. And do you want to talk about it a little? Because it is your favorite, and like you know it way better than I do.
Yeah, like first off, the Disneyland one is New Orleans themed, and the other one in the world is Liberty Square, so it's more like colonial vibes. And I personally love the Disneyland one just because of that, because I love New Orleans, and New Orleans already has that creepy vibe. So to have it in Disneyland, it makes more sense to me that way. But overall, the ride is very similar. But what the Disneyland one does is when they convert it for Halloween and Christmas and make it Nightmare Before Christmas themed, like that's when it's like fully different from the World one. But what I love this time was how they had updated the bride. The bride's my favorite character in the mansion, so it was like really cool to see how they had like made her brighter and more close to the original by giving her a candelabra in her hand instead of an axe. Apparently,
And
she
the
was meant
and
to
the
be.
heartbeat, right? The heartbeat, like
It's brighter. It's more in your face. The heart beating than it was before. Yeah.
so we learned, Robert and I happened to talk to somebody about that ride, and they said it is a return to the original bride, that the original bride turned into the Hatchet Bride, which is basically the bride from Disneyland Paris, right?
Yeah, similar.
I mean, like she is like the Hatchet Bride, is like
Well,
in quote unquote.
in
Because
Paris.
isn't she like they're all the husbands are headless or something?
So, oh no, in Paris, I think it's the Phantom is the one harming her husbands.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But what they were
It's
saying was
Phantom
that
Manor.
she she was never supposed to be a hatchet bride, like murdering Black Widow bride. So they even said something subtle that like the person we talked to pointed out to me that when I thought about it, I was like, oh my gosh, was that the portraits in the attic at World, the heads disappear because she's, chopping their heads off. But now in the Disneyland one, they made it so that their whole bodies fade away, the guys, not just the heads. And I was like, wow,
Okay.
that is such a subtle thing that I didn't even think about now that they took her axe away.
Right.
That was pretty neat.
See, but again, I love the detail, right? And they don't just take the axe away. They finish the story, right? The whole story, the precursor and the whole story is cohesive. And I love every Disney detail. Even when like see it's your favorite ride, and for you to learn something, and then like to me that was like wow, that's really amazing, right? That there's more to the story, there's more for us to learn. And but the picture, so Robert got a picture that went up on our page, right? The Visit Mickey at Visit Mickey Instagram and Facebook. He got an amazing picture of the bride, and it's like she's just glowing.
Yeah, she's so much
And
brighter. She's no longer like a mannequin with like a projection on her. So like her face is more like realistic looking and
yeah, like alive, like right, but alive, but a ghost, right? So like translucent, but
yes. Another thing that the person who spoke to told us, so that I realized in my head, but I didn't know that it was intentional, was that all of the ghosts in the graveyard had been plussed up. They were all brighter, glowing, stronger than ever. It's like they got all new glow paint. I always saw like the mummy in the background, but like you really see the mummy in the background now. Like so that was really cool. And again, I did not know any of this happened. So I just go on this and I was like blown away. I was like, oh my God, like there's a new bride. Like
yeah. So I think after I saw Toy Story Mania, It's a Small World, I was like, oh, I really love the subtle changes. And then I go, I wish they would do more. But I mean, I'm also happy, right? I'm always happy to see little changes. But then when you do it, you go, oh God, what they could do with this ride. Oh, what they could, you know what I mean? You start thinking about what they could do. And it's just for me that's exciting, even just in the thought, honestly. So the next one that I have on my list, because we're coming near the end of this, is a 70th inspired food and merchandise. And I gotta say that I thought the merchandise was really good, and I was very happy to buy plenty. But well, we had like some sit down meals that made us full. So like we had so many plans to buy like the desserty like things and take pictures and review them, but we didn't really do much of that. Like you got the churros,
I will say
but
it's hard for me to be disappointed at anything Disney, but the one thing I will say is that like they made the 70th food kind of hard to find. Like I expected it to be in way more places, and that's the problem is like when I was ready for something like that, it might be clear across the park of what I want, or I'm nowhere
yeah,
near where I want to get it. And I was like, that's the one thing I was like, I love these ideas of this special food, but like make it more accessible. Like they have popcorn and churro carts everywhere, but not all of them have the things that you're looking for. So if that's one advice I'd give to people is have more of a plan of what you're looking for and try to find out ahead of time where it's at so you can plot
yeah.
it out a little better.
Did you buy when we were at the Mexican, the Ranchero del Taco place? Did you buy the 70th food there?
Yeah.
The what and
Hmm.
what that was that what
It
was
was
that? It was
the walking taco tamale.
walking taco tamale. That's it. Okay. I knew like I could go back and look at pictures, but I okay, so he let me have a bite of it. It was delicious.
That was
And
great. My favorite
that was
things.
for the 70th.
Yeah. The one thing I regret is I wish we would have tried the chili potato that was back by Toontown.
Yes, and but we weren't hungry, remember?
We weren't hungry. That's the thing. And then when you're hungry,
And
it's
we
all the way at the back of the park.
oh my gosh, yeah, the Troubadour is way that's the name of the little quick serve stand you have to go to, the Troubadour. Now, I love food at the Troubadour, but you have to be back there or you have to plan. I'm getting hungry. I know I want to have a potato and then go. What happened was we had just eaten and then we went to Toontown and then we're like, oh, we can't eat a potato right now. But yeah, we did get a corn dog. We do love a Disneyland corn dog. There's nothing like it at Walt Disney World. There's actually nothing like it in Downtown Disney. There's nothing like it in California Adventure. It is not the same. You have to get the Little Red Wagon corn dog. It's the corn dog, the Disneyland corn dog, and it is, I would say, you know, it's generally it is perfection. I love them. And I think it was like was it the first day that we was that the first day?
Every time I go to Disneyland, it's my first stop. I'm like, get off the
Yeah.
plane, run to the resort, run to the corn dog. And it's like, you gotta go because like you don't want to have it for dinner. That's like a lunch thing. Like, or gosh, I would have it for breakfast, honestly.
It's so funny. So we have like, I think our lunches, right? Like when Robert and I travel together and we're in Walt Disney World in Magic Kingdom, it's like cheeseburger spring rolls. Oh, it's coming up on lunchtime. Cheeseburger spring rolls and a Dole Whip.
I meant to tell you this. I found out in a video yesterday. I didn't realize this, but right behind the cheeseburger spring roll cart is the Club 33 in that land, and I didn't even realize that. I'm like, well, I am honestly much probably rather have these cheeseburger spring rolls than be in Club 33.
Well, I gotta say, I've been in that Club 33 and you want the cheeseburger spring.
Yeah, I was like, how funny. Like, I don't know why. It cracked me up knowing that it's like you're standing at this cart for these cheeseburger spring rolls and there's like a Club 33 right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They do have a signature drink in the captain's quarters there that I've been lucky enough to go to. That's a good drink. But other than that, I would take the cheeseburger spring roll as well. And you know what? We always do the same thing. One of us gets in the cheeseburger spring roll line. One of us gets in the Dole Whip line. and then we meet up and we have our cheeseburger spring roll and our Dole Whip,
Oh,
right? Every time.
yeah, that's what we do. But was that you brought up a point about the Dole Whip situation at Disneyland right now, man. I don't know if we just hit the wrong days, but one of them being closed, it's like those Dole Whips are in high demand. Like,
Well, it was very hot. So we were there on 85-degree days. So Dole Whips, when it's 85 degrees, they are extremely important to people. And then the one that is pineapple only, so the one that's attached to the Tiki Room over in Disneyland, right? So Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room has a little Dole Whip cart, and in that one, it's only pineapple or the pineapple vanilla. But the Enchanted around the corner, Enchanted Highway, it has all the multiple flavors, and that used to be line only. So because they were taking down the Enchanted Tiki Room and taking down that pineapple Dole Whip stand, which used to have mobile order, they turned this into mobile order. Now, both times that we had it, we did get mobile order, but the first time was fast, and the second time was like 45 minutes we waited the second time. So that's a long time for a mobile order.
I
But
honestly would suggest just going to the Disneyland hotel where there's zero line. And then
pineapple only, though.
you get to check out the decorations at the same time though, the 70th.
Yeah,
That I loved how they plus the Disneyland hotel. That was one
it's
thing.
beautiful. I will say again, we're going off topic here, but here is my advice. If you want a little something special in your Dole Whip, you go to the Disneyland Hotel and you order a Dole Whip float with coconut rum. And then you stir it all up and drink it with a straw. It's the best drink there. It's delicious. Delicious, delicious, delicious. So that's my special treat. I usually have one per visit if I'm going to make it all the way down to Trader Sam's area. So, okay, so looking back at my checklist, we've got the Celebrate Happy, World of Color, Paint the Night, Wondrous Journeys, Better Together, It's a Small World, Tapestry of Happiness, 70th anniversary costumes, which we did talk about kind of at the top of this. The Cavalcade with Duffy and Shelley May. We love, love, love. Love that they are in our parks. You know, we've been wanting to see them and wanting to see them, and I think we're going to have to go to an Asian park to be able to see Duffy and Friends. So to know that we could see them here. Also, you can see Duffy and Shelley May and Olumel at Aulani, which is the resort in Hawaii. And then the overlay of Toy Story Mania, and then the food and merch. I think we felt the merch was a little underwhelming before we got there, but a whole bunch launched. Like they were holding the artwork, I feel like, and not telling us everything that was coming. But as of the 16th or 17th, oh my gosh, the amount of stuff that they launched was crazy.
Oh, I had so much fun with the merch because it seemed like every store had something different. And so it was like a scavenger hunt for like where can we find this piece or where can we find that piece? And then the next day maybe it'd be restocked other places it wasn't the day before. It was just like, wow, I kept finding
Um,
new stuff. I'm like, what about this? We haven't seen this. We've been in 100 stores. We haven't seen this. Like,
right. So I feel there's a few things that are in every store. Oh, okay. Now again, this is a little bit video, and so there's audio attached to the key, but there's also video. So I am going to, let me see if I can do something here. I'm sure you have heard about the key. All right. So it is a big, how big is this? It's like maybe 20 inches long, something like that. It is a big, giant Disneyland key, and I'm putting it up against the screen. So again, I'm sure if you're a Disney fan, you've seen this key around. So the Disney 70th key, the Disneyland 70th key was $59, right? So $60, $59.99, right?
something around there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you buy the key, and there are 9 stations around the park, one in every land. And you have to find the station where you take the key and you insert it into the station, and it will do something. It will play noise, it will shoot lasers, it will make bubbles, and then your icon will light up. So this one right here, I'm trying to, oh, oh my goodness. Wow. I don't know what mode I just hit.
Yeah, if you keep hitting the button, it does a different interaction for every land.
Yeah.
Every land
So
does a different
so
light show.
Walt Disney pops up, Millennium Falcon pops up for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the mountain, the gargoyle for Liberty Square. Oh, is there a honey pot? There is. There's a honey pot, and then the honey pot, and then the Pooh Bear song plays.
My favorite
How
was
do
the
I choose?
Fantasyland one because it turns pink polka dot and then it plays the carousel song.
Yeah, I'm trying to find which one is orange. Orange is, oh, the Mark Twain, and then Space Mountain. Oh, Toontown. Nothing could stop me now. The Disneyland Castle, which is the music from the carousel. And then I think the next song is after you complete, if you go to all 9 places, put your key in, and then there's a place in the front of the park. So it's actually a 10th spot. You have to go outside the train station, and there's a completion place to put your key, and you put your key in there, and as long as you've gone to all the other stations, then it pops open and reveals a gift. So like your gift is you pay $60, and I get that. $60. It's not exactly cheap, but if you have to more than one in your family or not. But this gave us hours of fun. Right, Robert? Like we had fun. Great. Wait. We need to take the key here. Oh, wait, we have to go to Galaxy's Edge. Oh, from there we'll go to Winnie the Pooh. And we just kept going. And then you go to the end, and then inside there's a key. And keys are valued at, I don't know, like what, at least $15, the cost of a key, the cost of, I said key, a pin. Thank you. There's a pin hidden inside it, and pins are at least worth $15, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, and I just want to get to the final one. So when you complete your key, it does like this great light show and then plays the phantasmic music. I actually love this. I love this like, I know it looks like a toy, but it's a huge, great souvenir. I mean, it's a great souvenir.
Kids would go crazy for that. Like, what I love about it is that it's honoring each land of the park, and it's honoring it with a classic song from it, and I just think it does a great job of really like being magical. It's a magical thing.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And then there were 2 more things. So you would get your Magic Band. If you have a Magic Band Plus, right? If you have a Magic Band Plus for this, there are 5 different stations, and I'm going to just show them to the camera for those who have YouTube. So you go to the cinema, and you can get your first card, and it says celebrating 70 years of magic. And then the card is actually also specific. I am a DVC member, so mine says DVC members welcome home. But Robert is not a DVC member, so his said 70th anniversary celebration or something like that. So mine even recognized that I'm a DVC member. And then there is one for the Jungle Cruise. So I'm just showing that again. If you have YouTube, you can see the Jungle Cruise. And it talks about being on the Mekong River, right? And then one for so these are just like they're tickets, right? You can go get a ticket with your Magic Band. And then the Golden Horseshoe Review. And 70 years of rootin' tootin' fun, house rules. No spitting, no cussing, no drinking, no gambling, no shooting. And wipe your boots. So like that's written on the back of the card. And then, oh, I think this is my favorite. Enjoy the Grand Central Tour on the Disneyland Railroad. It's a beautiful ticket, and the card holder is on here, right? And it says, holder of the ticket, DVC member, welcome home. And then the last one is the Mark Twain Riverboat. So here again, showing it for YouTube. It says right here, date July 17th, welcome home to the Rivers of America. Again, July 17th being the anniversary of Disneyland. And then the ticket number is 71755. So that's the opening date, July 17th of 55. And then looking for Easter eggs on these tickets was very fun. The first one is the cinema. And when you're looking at the cinema ticket, my ticket number was 1205-1901, which is Walt's date of birth. So December 5th of 1901. So again, for me, I love that they hid those little Easter eggs in the tickets. And this one says, a tribute to the Sherman Brothers, a new verse. So, and the new verse being the Disneyland song, or the It's a Small World, verse 3.
I was just looking because I still wasn't sure if we got all of them or not. I was curious to see like
Well, there's 5.
yeah, as if it really was 5, but I can't find an answer. So curious to know.
All right. And then, all right. Ooh, that's bright. It's the blue light. Yuck. All right. And the last thing. Da, 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 da. All right. Again, I know that some of this is for YouTube, and the rest of it's for podcasts, but have you seen the very last picture taken of Mr. Walt Disney? If you have, Walt is sitting in a fire engine with his friend Mickey Mouse, and it was the fire engine that was used, and I guess he would regularly grab the cars on Main Street. So like the milk truck, the fire truck, it didn't matter. He had the key. He just would hop in and take it to wherever he wanted to go. So the very last promotional picture that Walt Disney took was on the fire engine with his best friend, Mickey Mouse. Okay, so I'm holding it up for YouTube purposes. Now, for the 70th, they made a Funko. Wow, this is really washing poor Walt out. All you see are his eyes. There. Okay, so they made a Funko of the fire engine with Walt on the fire engine and with Mickey on the fire engine. And they did that for the 70th. And the day we got there, it was like sold out. They are gone. We do not have any more. And the next day, it was at the end of the night, end of the park night. And it was like, let's just walk through World of Disney just to see. And they had 5 on the shelf. So we grabbed them and, we got them. And then the next day at the park, there were like 20 on every shelf. I mean, so they are restocking regularly. And I was really excited, very excited to get this.
It's got to be determined because the hat I'm wearing was sold out everywhere too. And I had a very magical moment with one of the cast members where I said, hey, I've been looking for this hat and I've only seen the other one everywhere. And she goes, I think I saw that on the back of a shelf over in this one store. And I said, oh, really? No way. So I ran over there and she followed me and she's like, did you find it? And sure enough, there it was. And so then she opened up her register and she rang me up real quick. And she was so excited that she could show me the hat that I was looking for the whole trip. And I literally never saw it again. Like that was the last. Yeah.
You know what? And we had a few of those very magical moments, where we had a cast member engage with us in a way that was so meaningful to us. But like when Robert came back with that story, he was like, the person was like, wait a minute, I've seen it. I know just where it is. And like, honestly, how many times do you think it would be more like, oh, no, sorry, we're sold out. And it could be so easy to be nonchalant about it. and they weren't. And that they even followed to make sure that he got it is such a testament of Disneyland. The one thing I will say is I'm going to use the word intentional. I think Disneyland is just more intentional in many ways, right? Intentional about the magic, about their customer, their guest service, their guest experience. And we saw it multiple times. So hooray.
And just
Hooray,
make
hooray.
sure if you have the interactions to give the cast compliment. Like I always make sure
Oh, good tip.
yeah, you can go on the
So
app, tell them and give them a compliment, and that gets back to their supervisors and means a lot to them.
yeah, the cast compliment, they have made it so easy to do. There was a time where you had to go to Main Street and you had to go to City Hall to give a cast compliment. And I could see that people would be like, I think I'll just skip. I'll skip. I'd like to tell someone they're doing a good job, but they've made it so easy. Disney World or Disneyland, right in the app, cast compliment, and then you could put the person's name. They'll ask where you are, like, what store you encountered them in, and da da da. And then there's a little bit of room to say something. But just definitely, if you see that kind of thing, if you experience that firsthand, it absolutely helps them. We have some cast member friends who say, yes, it does make a difference. And those cast compliments, are good for them. So I guess that's kind of it, right?
I think so,
Did we
yeah.
miss anything? We did do the barbecue, the new 70th. So Storytellers Cafe for dinner has changed over to a barbecue. But when we booked it, we thought it was just period, the whole new theme. It's just a theme for a couple months. It's only until August. So I don't know if they're going to go back to the regular way, like the regular menu after August. And maybe this is just going to be a summertime thing because barbecues and summers kind of go hand in hand. But the characters are cute. The costumes are so good. Clarabelle Cow is a member of that group. No Mickey. Minnie?
No,
Daisy?
many.
No, Minnie. Right. No, Daisy and Donald. It's Donald's barbecue dinner. So it's Daisy and Donald, Pluto and Goofy and Clarabelle is who we saw.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a good, the ribs were so incredibly good. But it's fun. It's fun. It was brand spanking new. So I do feel that we didn't have, like, it wasn't like a fine oiled, fine run machine the day we were there. Because we were even like, isn't there a little like cavalcade where you guys go around? It never happened in the time we were there. But then we saw it later, a different day. So I kind of feel like it's just new and they're trying to figure out a few of the dynamics. But if you like barbecue, it was a very good dinner.
Yeah, and all the desserts had the 70th on them. Cake pop,
Yes.
cookies, and it was all 70th.
Oh, the s'mores though. That s'mores warm
Was it bread
pudding, like bread
pudding
pudding.
or something like that? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
It
good.
was really good. It was really good. That's what I had. I didn't have any of the little individual things. I just had the s'mores bread pudding. But yeah, so we did do that. That was something we did. And then if you have kiddos, new for this year, new for this celebration, they are offering a Disneyland 70th Family Adventure map, so differently than the regular Disneyland map. So I did snag one, again, showing it on YouTube, but it shows a cartoon version of the map. And it's got a, like, what is that called? Like where you have to find them. Hidden friends are in the map. So you can go, oh, where is the popcorn? Find the popcorn cart, and then you know where it is. And it's very fun for kiddos. I think that's a great thing to have a new addition to the Disneyland app or Disneyland park. But I loved it. I have so far loved everything the 70th. I will be back in July. I will be there for the 70th anniversary. That's going to be like my family vacation. So that's what my family's doing this year is we're going to go for the 70th. I already know that there was something I didn't buy that I hope is there when we go back, which is go to the Disney Anna store and where the big vault is and those glasses, those rocks glasses, those glasses for a whiskey. I was kicking myself for not getting that and his day planner. I was just kicking myself going, I can't believe I didn't get
Well,
those.
and then we heard that the first week of June, the 70th merch will be on the store online.
Right,
I hope that's true.
right.
I might need to get something. I didn't get the blanket I said I was gonna get. I forgot all about it.
Blanket.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And that was another thing that we looked for. You had to look for a while before you found it, the
Yeah.
blanket.
Yeah, there was one thing I was gonna stress before we leave is make sure I always say this to people, like I think that there's a huge misunderstanding about Disney that you have to do all the rides to have fun. And I think that this celebration proved to me that I can have a blast. I didn't need any rides. Like I could have done all the new shows. I could have done the key. That the key was worth it. Like I was telling Trisha, like what I love about the tree is I just had a great walk through the best park ever. You know what I mean? Like it takes you around all the different lands and stuff, but that's all I need in my life is walking around Disneyland for me to have a good time. Like I don't even need to be jumping on roller coasters and stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah,
You know, we took in a VIP tour while we were there. And it's probably, you know, what we did today, talking to you guys today, we did a VIP tour. And as part of that VIP tour, we started, and I said, we want this VIP tour to be only the new stuff. And so during the hours, the 7 hours, right? They're 7 hour tours. During that 7 hours, we saw Paint the Night in the front row, directly in front of the castle, and in the row, the street where the Matterhorn comes up, we were sitting in the front. So we had the best seats. And we were able to have chairs to sit in. So we went and started the day at Better Together. Then we did Toy Story Midway Mania. We did maybe 3 rides. We did Web Slingers. We did maybe 3 rides in California Adventure. And then we hopped right over to Disneyland. Mind you, if you haven't been there, it is a 1-minute walk from California Adventure over to Disneyland. And then we did the things there. We did the new things there. We were not ride, which I do think a lot of people think VIP tours is only good for rides. But we got front row seats for everything, right? We had a front row seat for Paint the Night and for Wondrous Journeys and for Better Together Parade. We had 3 dedicated areas that were, perfect. And then all we had to do was walk over to the Tapestry of Happiness. So that was like super good. And then we wanted to ride the rides that made sense. And the last thing she said was, we had someone named Lori who was great. The last thing she's like, okay, you're at the end of your time. I could walk you over to Tiana's if you want to ride Tiana's. And it was getting chilly. So we were like, no, we're going to skip Tiana's because it's too cold now. Because I guess you get really, really wet in Disneyland. So, but yeah, we rode maybe only 5 rides that day. I mean, it's a tiny amount of rides, right?
for the VIP.
If you're going to count the attractions.
I don't know. I
Oh,
thought
you know what?
we ended up.
I made a list.
Oh, you did. That's right.
I'll see real quick. Okay, we did. Oh, yeah, no, we did more than that. Okay, so we started with the Better Together Parade. Then we did Toy Story Mania, Radiator Springs Racers, then Web Slingers. Then they got us, so they can help you. They can like move up your mobile order and things like that for you. So you got shawarma and then the cold brew, and they could move up the mobile order. So if your cold brew is 30 minutes away, or if your Dole Whip is 45 minutes away, they can move it up.
Well, and I
Um,
love how she was like, I'll go grab this one while you go grab the other. I was like, yes.
yeah, I mean, that was very cool. Then we did It's a Small World, Alice in Wonderland. Oh, The Pulling of the Swords, Peter Pan's Flight, Big Thunder Mountain. Then we took a food break where she expedited the food order for us. Then we did Indiana Jones. God, I forgot we did some of these rides. Pirates of the Caribbean, which had a 2 hour wait when we went on it. Pirates,
I wanted to talk about the what she did for us on Indiana, how it was so cool in the line because that's a long queue. And she
yeah.
was able to get us on this like secret little elevator that took us all the way down. I was like, whoa, I feel so fancy right now.
Yeah, we walked in front of a lot of people to get to that elevator. That was very cool. Okay, so Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion. Then we had the private seating for Paint the Night, Wondrous Journey, and then from there she was gone. We walked over ourselves, but we knew where to go for Tapestry of Happiness. And I don't know what we did after that. But after that, it was already, we didn't have her anymore. But that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 things that we did with our VIP tour guide, including shows that took time. Like that Better Together show. We got there, we had to pick the seats we wanted. She ran and got us each the big giant, is that Smart Water? Smart Water, the big super tall Smart Water, like a liter. She got us a liter of Smart Water while we waited for the parade to start. And she's like, I can either get you on a ride or I can run and get some water. We're like, run and get water. And then, and then again, Paint the Night. That's time that you have to sit, but we wanted the seats we got. So we did have to go, 30 minutes early. And I get that that's 30 minutes that we weren't with her, but to us, those were decisions that we felt were worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, to find out that she had been in the performances before, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got to find out that she had been in Magic Happens Parade, which I love the Magic Happens Parade. And I hope that it comes back too, because I really enjoy that Magic Happens Parade. It's an afternoon parade and I love it. And she was in it. So it was like kind of a fun moment to talk about some of the parades she had done as a performer.
You had pictures.
But we got a lot done by having a VIP tour. And it was a very good day because it was grad night, which meant half of this high school, I feel like, or maybe every high school in the area was there. Oh my God, it was a crazy amount of people. And we were just like walking on rides. So we were very happy to have our VIP tour when we had it. And we really should do a whole breakdown on VIP tours of everything you get. But we have already been talking for 2 hours. Oh my God. I feel like we could keep going because we love it, but we should probably wrap it.
Yeah, it was definitely a great time. And yeah, I actually, I kept thinking, there's something I missed. I need to go back.
Oh, we didn't see it all. That's the thing. We did not do everything on our list, on our personal list that we made before we went.
I can't believe people say like, "Oh, Disneyland, we can do it in a day, 2 days." I'm like, heck no, not the way I do it.
Like you never got your macaron, right? Or your, wait,
Oh,
macaroon,
yeah, I never
right?
got the Matterhorn one. So many things like,
There were so many things on our what we're going to do list that we did not do.
and
And we were there 3 days.
Ferb. I know that that was one. Phineas and Ferb, we missed them.
Phineas and Ferb and Perry the Platypus is there. And we never got that done. It was hard. You really had to pick and choose what we got done. Also, we did take a day, well, more than a day to go to the studios. We went to the Walt Disney Studios to have a tour. So that took up time. But still, We
Yeah.
had 2.5 days there. 2.5. Because we got there at 1:45 the first day
Yeah.
until park closed. And then we were there the other 2 days. And the third day we weren't there. So yeah, or the fourth day, I should say, we weren't there. So, anyway, okay, Robert, any last minute thoughts? Any last minute like to sign off?
It's just great. Like, I recommend everyone go check it out.
Yes. Yes, definitely. If you have not been to Disneyland and you want to have a Disney experience again this summer, I say if you've been to World, you've been there, you've done it. Try the other coast. The other thing I will say, it was 85 degrees, but we were not sweaty messes. It is not humid. You can breathe. It's so different, such a different vibe from Florida. Consider a Disneyland and experience this celebration because the 70th celebration it was wonderful. We only had 3 days worth, but it was so very good. So I would say ditch Disney World this year and go to Disneyland.
For sure. I mean, I was always a Disney Worlder, and then Trisha got me to go to Land, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to go back to World after this. There's so much
Our
left.
plan is working.
It just feels like everything's just so plussed there. Like, I don't know. I can't explain it. You have to just experience it.
You do. You do. You can't. It's a feeling. It's a feeling, right? And I think when I said earlier that they are intentional, they intentionally keep magic, and I think they intentionally keep the spirit of Walt there, and they absolutely don't do that at Walt Disney World. As much as I love Walt Disney World, and I do, it is different. It is different. Walt Disney World, Walt never lived and walked in, and so there is a difference. And there are people who still have affiliation to Walt walking around today, and they keep him close to their hearts, and I think that changes the way the experience is. So, all right, well, I appreciate you coming and listening. We've been on a little bit of a break because I had a trip to Europe, then we had this trip to Disneyland, and I knew that we had to do a Disneyland breakdown afterwards. So thank you so much for listening. We are having such a fun time doing the All Aboard with Visit Mickey. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you'll keep listening.
Great.
See you real soon.
Bye.